Hey there, how you doing? Welcome to Weird Spins. Starting out tonight, I'm waiting for a plane, so I have a few minutes. It's been kind of hectic at home, kind of hectic everywhere. Had a little fender bender, just got my car back, had the phone die. That wasn't nearly as big a deal, as much as there's been a lot of financial upset over the last 3 or 4 months. Basically, when it decided to CAC, it was 10 years old and it was insured. So I just had to wait for about a week and a half to get it resolved and get another one in the mail. So I got it set up between yesterday and today, and here we are. Might have to redo my closer though, because it was backed up on the phone and had not for some reason gone to the cloud. But I do have the original clip of Bob, so he will continue to spin at the end of Weird Spins. Last few times I've done this, I've gone out in the field and had to do it like it was a bunch of vinyl tags that I participated in. So I used just graphics because I figured I'm not home enough to do this. So I'm going to try to cover some of the vinyl that I picked up at the end of last year, some gifts that I got, and a couple of things that I got from thrift, and some that I found last weekend when I'm home tomorrow at some point if I can, and do this video over the course of 2 days. But I also had picked up some CDs, so rather than going through the process of downloading and finding a bunch of pictures knowing I was going back out on the road and doing a job tonight, I just brought them with me. So I can show them right here in the SUV while I'm waiting for my passenger to arrive. So I've had a little bit of luck, and a couple of these I may have actually shown before. I'm not entirely sure. First thing I've got here is I think I may have covered this one, Where the Sidewalk Ends, read by Shel Silverstein. This disc has got some really great sort of odd storytelling through poetry on it. He's as much of a creative, or was as much of a creative as Dr. Seuss was, for being someone with a unique style. The thing is that while this artwork implies that this would be, children's tales, I wouldn't recommend this for children. It's sometimes really nightmarish stuff. And there are moments where you go, oh my God, did he really say that? I didn't see that coming. But it's an incredibly breathtaking listen for not only what the material is, but his unique delivery. For example, some of you have heard this on Dr. Demento albums and broadcasts. Sarah Sylvia Cynthia Stout would not take the garbage out. And, he's got this, finally it got so high that it touched the sky, and all of the neighbors moved away, and none of her friends would come to play. And so Sarah Sylvia Cynthia Stout said, all right, I'll take the garbage out. He's just so full of energy with the stuff. But yeah, some of it gets really, really insane. I mean, I can't even begin to mock what he does there. This one is I know this one's a more recent acquisition. Of course, I have several versions of this soundtrack of the original Disney Jungle Book, but I was really intrigued by this CD because it has Sherman Brothers interview, the composers, at the end of it, and some apparently prior to this unreleased tracks that were part of the incidental score, but they may be on the newer picture disc edition that was out there. But it also has a couple of original cast recordings from 1969, a more obscure Jungle Book kind of sequel album with song Baloo's Blues and It's a Kick. So that should be interesting, and I'm looking forward to hearing that interview quite a bit. I've picked up an LL Cool J. I am fond of some hip-hop stuff that's out there and rap stuff that's out there, so that was a cool thing to find. I don't know if anybody's going to be too familiar with this. He was around and popular this project was around and popular a few years ago. I think this is from 2006, and that's Modest Youth. This is a reggae rock crossover that has like some hip-hop bar-spinning delivery, and it's all Judaic culture, which is, designed to be, its intention was kind of like with Orphaned Land, just sort of using music to bridge culture gaps between people and unite people. And I think it's a wonderful thing. So when I saw that there, I had been wanting that album, or to at least get one album by them, but that's the one that I remember being advertised the most, Youth. So I was pretty excited to see that and pick it up. This, I haven't had a chance to spin at all. I'm kind of wondering how it's done. It's Love Janis, and it's Joplin, kind of a comp, but highlighted with recordings from letters that she had written during her life at the height of her career. And so it sounds almost like the way those sort of one-man shows are set up, or like the Beatles Love, or whatever. And I don't know, is it her reading them, or is there a narrator reading them? I haven't plugged it in yet to see how it is. Hopefully it's actually really good. I don't know what to expect. This is The Bobs, which, for anybody that's unfamiliar, is an a cappella group that they titled this one Plugged because they do novelty and bizarro stuff, perfect for weird spins. I caught a clip of them years ago on Comedy Central, I believe. But they'll use guitar distortion pedals and things like that, so that unlike some a cappella groups that are just going blah, 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 and creating drum sounds and doing, beatbox, they're fuzzing it up and rocking it out in part. So that's kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me of what Michael, why am I drawing a blank on his name? The Police Academy guy does, where he's really incredible at doing Hendrix impressions and things like that. And he's local down here. I'd love to see his live show. He's amazing. All right. Next we have one that I did not know existed. Kind of like the way I was describing that Jungle Book has a sequel kind of, or spin-off album that had a couple of original songs on it, and they titled it more Jungle Book, with the original cast and the original composers, so 2 of the songs appear on there. Likewise, this is Bayou Boogie, which is all original cast members sort of spin-off album to The Princess and the Frog. So that should be really great, and I'm probably gonna wind up spinning that a few times. Last on the Disney stuff. Last time I did a video, I was doing one on CD tag, and it said an unusual pressing or something like that. No, that was, I think, a regular vinyl tag, but it said an unusual press. And I picked a CD because it was a Disney CD that was a Christmas CD that was just a little 3-song EP, and it was on a shaped disc that was cut out. And there was a hole bored in the top of it so that it could actually be hung up as a Christmas tree ornament, and it was a Christmas tree wreath with Mickey on it. So I thought that was a neat pressing. Well, this is likewise neat, and I don't know what it was sampled with. It just says free 3-song CD sampler, features the songs Little Black Rain Cloud from the Winnie the Pooh series, Wherever You Are from Disney's Pooh's Grand Adventure, the Search for Christopher Robin album, and A Cut Above the Rest from Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the Enchanted Christmas album, which there is an Enchanted Christmas Beauty and the Beast movie that I picked up and found on Blu-ray a while back in thrift. But this I thought was kind of unusual because it's got a cute little ordinary sleeve. It's a little crack in the jewel box, but everything's intact. The disc is a 3-inch mini disc pressed into the core of a full-size 5-inch disc, and it's a picture CD. So I thought, that's kind of cool. I don't think I've quite seen anything like that before, so I picked that up because in its own unusual way, it's another Disney picture disc. Last one, and probably one of the coolest finds in the bunch. What I have here is a project album, a sided project, that there's a number of albums out, but not always with him. Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth, and this one is much more hard-edged along the lines of the Cannibal Corpse kind of thing. And this is Bloodbath, The Fathomless Masters. This is not a domestically released CD. There is not a domestically released CD version of this in the United States, I don't think. This one has a full booklet with lyric content and everything, and it's just like minty new. It's a really beautiful piece. Well, I had to switch vehicles, and taking a peek, it's a good thing I did, because I almost forgot 3. I got another one by the Bobs. This one is called My I'm Large, and I really still don't know quite how to describe them. I think, I mean, acapella, they're acapella. This one is literally more of an unplugged kind of thing. I don't think they've done much in the way of distortion. It seems most of the tracks were recorded live. There's an absolutely spectacular cover of Sam the Sham's Little Red Riding Hood on here. Lyrically, for their own material, I'd say if you appreciate the oddity of They Might Be Giants, then this will appeal to you. They're very distinctive and literary and interesting themselves. But it has that lyrical strangeness to it, but as an a cappella group with a bit of that doo-wop underscoring and occasionally delivering something in sort of a sarcastic bent on what would have been the golden age of the beat poetry delivery, especially on this one for a track called Mopping. I picked up 2 more that are essentials for anybody to have in their library. Number 1, the first Star Wars film to come out, the actual score, though I did have the picture disc of the story, the actual score by John Williams to Star Wars A New Hope, and it's pretty cool because it's got, I don't know if it'll show on there, but it's got like a 3D lenticular cover, so I thought that was kind of neat. And of course the album that started it all, that there would be no prog scene, I don't think, in the way that there has been over the decades, in the way that we know it, if it were not for Sgt. Pepper. So I went ahead and replaced my copy of Sgt. Pepper. I know every note on this, I just haven't had one since moving years and years ago. Quick note on this stuff. Bloodbath is the only CD that I paid more than 50 cents for, and I got it from Soulmates. I found out that they had relocated and stumbled across them, so I just went in and went scoping the store out, and I found it in there, so I got it for super cheap. So again, if you're in Palm Beach, Soulmates is a cool place to check out. The rest of this stuff was all 50 cents. That's all I've done on any of them, and it's been spread out over a little bit of time. So cool. I will be back again, and well, in just a few seconds we'll look at some records. Well, the baby is asleep and I've got to get ready for work very soon, so I'm going to just kind of hold up the records and provide some voiceover and post-production to be able to show them today. I have grabbed them, and that's how we'll go about doing this. Most recently I had luck with some old time radio. This is an Abbott and Costello episode featuring Lucille Ball. First got that on a cassette on a road trip with my family at a Stuckey's, and it was paired with a Lugosi episode at the time. This has Who's on First and another clip on the B-side. Here we have some bawdy songs and backroom ballads. I think this was a volume 2 or 3, and it's basically a party record of sorts. The Bickersons was an old-time radio show with Don Amici and Francis Langford. However, this is something that was recorded in the studio for a record release. This thing I'm not so sure about. It seems to be sound bites from the movies. I haven't spun it yet. The label is equally as generic and doesn't provide very many clues about whether or not it's any kind of official thing, but it's pretty cool, I think. All right. And here we have some more old-time radio. This is Jimmy Durante. A lot of people are familiar with him from Mad World and other programs. And 2 LPs of Inner Sanctum, which was a really great thriller episode along the lines of Lights Out, Everybody. And you'll find some on my OTR Tuesdays posts. This I just think is neat. It's been sitting around for over a year and I forgot to put it in Discogs. It's a Huckleberry Finn Storyteller record on some generic label that has a puzzle designed to be colored on the front. So that's kind of a unique sleeve design anyway. And here we have a Cinderella import on blue vinyl. I got this as part of a lot purchase well over a year ago, and I again forgot to list it in Discogs. It was the same time that I got the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and the Alice Cooper $1 Billion Babies. I'm not really a huge glam fan, but I suppose I should give it a spin and check it out. I might actually wind up selling this to get something that I'd more prefer, or to just, more than that, help out with family bills at the moment. And I had promised I was going to show this further after doing one of the vinyl tags. This is a really beautiful edition of the soundtrack to Parasite in 3D. The 80s film was one of Demi Moore's first movies. It's by Richard Band, who did a lot of the Full Moon and Empire Pictures stuff. This is one of the most beautiful colored vinyl pressings I've ever seen in my life. It's available from Mystic Vault. First, I figured I'd show you, it comes with a full-size poster that's pretty impressive. So I didn't even look to see how well it went into frame, but yeah, it's a big poster. And the inner sleeve is fully illustrated with some notes and a lot of stills from the movie, which is campy but kind of gross out. I call it the sock puppet slug, or the toothy pull toy slug on a string movie. But look at this vinyl. That thing is just breathtaking. And I'm going to hold it up to the light too before I end the shot, just because it's a really amazing thing to see through. It really doesn't reveal itself very well on camera here. And there you go. Wow, it's like stained glass or something. Isn't that thing just absolutely breathtaking? That's one of the most beautiful colored vinyl pieces in my entire collection. And now for something exceptionally weird, because weird spins, and apparently there are different versions. This is an audiophile recording of all things, a farting competition. I have not spun it yet, but I'm doomed to eventually, because weird spins. Now we get into the gifts from Reale Accademia di Musica. This is a gift from my friend Ian, and it's a Federico Troiani test pressing from a solo album, and it features the rhythm section of Goblin. I had no idea what I was looking at when he sent this to me, but that is a real treasure. And as an Italian prog rock fan, this particular gift box, between this and some DVDs and Blu-rays, including a number of imported ones, was just, I don't know. The guy really, I feel emotional when I get packages from him, because he's just been so generous and sent me such amazing things. You know, we all have a few friends out there that are really a cut above, and he's one of those people. He's an amazing human being, and I'm so very glad to have him in my life at all. And here we have Easy Going, and this is by Fear. This record is kind of a disco style thing, and it's got Claudio Simonetti on it, and it's pretty cool. It's on red vinyl, and I love having it in the collection too. Very pretty pressing. Yeah, Ian kept the gifts coming, and this is Cadence, and it has Agostino Marangelo from Goblin on it. I haven't had a chance to check this one out yet. The disc is outright minty. It's just the sleeve has got a little bit of water damage or something to it, but the record looks perfect. So I'm not sure if it's going to be pop, if it's going to be disco, if it's going to have any kind of an edgy prog quality to it. But either way, I'm very pleased to have it, just because it's always neat to find these interesting Italian recordings that have members of projects that we have grown up just absolutely cherishing. Up next, I don't know if I had mentioned it to him because I've been hanging out watching Cosmic Brian's channel, but I love bubblegum pop. And this is a beautiful, like new, if not unplayed copy of 123 Red Light by 1910 Fruit Gum Company in an original Buddha sleeve, and that is just cherry. I mean, I know it's not like a crazy rare thing, but I just love that. And I think this is the last big, no, this got one more here. This is Was, which I haven't had a chance to check out. It looks really interesting, and I think it's a prog album, so I'll be checking that out. It's a very kind of creepy album cover, actually. So this one's going to be a listen in the next few days. Some of this other stuff I've had a chance to listen to. Some of it I haven't quite got to yet. That's one of two. That and the Cadence I haven't gotten to yet. Just a matter of sometimes when you're home, moments like this that, you know, you're trying to keep it quiet because you don't want to disturb the baby. And in this situation, I'll be leaving for work shortly as well. And that's the biggie he sent me. That is a first press on the Island label with the pink band from UK. So now I have 3 copies of Tarkus. Currently, I have the CD, I have the picture disc from Record Store Day, and now an original first press vinyl, which is the first time I've ever had one, though I've gone through probably 3 or 4 vinyl pressings in my life as a kid because of falling in love with it right off the bat, the record that changed my life. So very grateful for all of this, Ian. Thank you so much. I treasure absolutely every bit of this. Thank you so much. So I think that's it for the new stuff. It's about 8 o'clock, and I've got a run at 5:30 in the morning with this bus, so I'll have to hurry up and go ahead and go home, see if I can catch an early night's sleep, and be out the door at about 4:30. So if the baby's up when I get there, I might try to see if I can fit in an album tonight, depending on what he's feeling like activity-wise. I might be spending a little bit of time with him. We'll just wait and see. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you again real soon.